Good morning. I thought I would show you some of my trees, seedlings, or whatever I have here. Oh, these Rose of Sharon, I didn't think that they were going to make it, but they are recovering. Got kind of a really cold this past winter. I'm in zone 6, I think, 6B. But they're coming, but there's no blossoms yet. And these are some cedars that I rooted and will transplant sometime soon. And all these apple seedlings that are here are that I started from the seeds in a gala apple that were all sprouted. So I originally started with 15, and I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left, and 2 this year that kind of don't be looking like they're doing too good. And here is some English walnuts in there, and in this, those were in my yard. The squirrels either forgot they had those nuts or they got hit by a car, because you'll be able to hear traffic. I'm pretty close to a main route. Now here's something I wanted to show you. This is a new watering system I had for the birds. My neighbor feeds the birds, I water the birds. But these two, the swan and this one, get kind of yucky because they don't have any copper in them. This one has a little piece of copper pipe in it, and that water is much clearer. There is debris on the bottom, but I think that just comes from dust in the air. Got a little bee or something here stuck there. Okay. Sometimes they miss the little rocks to get the water, and he'll have to dry out a little bit. Okay, so you can see that I haven't dug this walnut up yet. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, quite a few. Between 4 and 6 I have around my yard that need to get dug up, because the squirrels forgot them or they got hit out in the road. This is my wisteria, and I didn't have any blooms this year. I usually get a couple blooms and at least 2 seed pods, and they're funny because they're about 6 inches long, and if you bring them inside and just put them in a container, as they dry out, all of a sudden one day you'll hear this pop, 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 pop. And it's the seed pods opening up and the seeds popping out. Anyways, it took a very long time for the wisteria leaves to come out. I really thought that it had died, because, like I said before, it was a really cold winter. And here's another water thing. This is supposed to be like a sand pit for the male monarchs. It has salt in it because sea salt, Redmond's salt, from Utah because they need to have the minerals, of which I hope I have a male monarch around. There have been at least 3 females around for all the milkweed that I have, but I have not seen any monarch caterpillars yet. And this time, in past years, I've had at least 2 or 3 2-inch ones. And here's some ferns that I transplanted, some from my older daughter's house up northeast and my sister's house when she lived southeast of me. And I've had those for quite a while, and they do seem to be doing quite well this year. There's another walnut that I'll have to dig up and move because it's kind of an inconvenient spot. So I have a mix-up between English walnuts that show up and black walnuts. Black walnuts I don't keep. The English walnuts were the ones I showed before because my younger daughter would like those. So at some point she'll take them and plant them. Now here's a small grove of walnuts that I have left to grow. So from this point across, any walnuts that come up, I've been leaving them. So here's a new one under here. So they might be close. 30 years, if my children still have this property, the black walnuts will be very valuable wood. So I have a row of conifers. A few years ago, I had to have 6 in different areas of my property cut down. But it's always fun to look up into the branches. Or if you climbed up in them, to look down the branches. But I haven't been climbing any trees lately. So those are white peonies when they're blooming. And these over here are a variety of pinks, dark pinks. Now, here's an interesting box elder tree. At some point, I think it might tip over. But let's see if I can show you how interesting this is. There's these long branches that go out sideways, and then spiking up out of those are branches that go straight up. So it's kind of fun, interesting to see, well, when will the weight break this limb off? Box elder are not a very strong tree. They break. So I don't encourage the box elder to grow. Now, I do have some hawthorns in here. I really like the hawthorns because their branches are always so interesting. Here's one. It's getting pretty tall. And here's some maples. and then a big box elder and a really big locust. So, and then there's this tree that I've never been able to figure out what it is. I can't, branches aren't low enough that I can get a leaf, and I can't tell from the bark. And over here is a very old apple tree. And does have apples sometimes, but the squirrels seem to get those apples. Unfortunately, I have 1, 2, 3 ash over there. Across, I have a little water ditch that's over there. And that ash tree. So I kind of let these trees go on their own, because if they fall, it really won't hurt anything in this property. So here's another walnut propping up. So there's a lot of walnuts. Here's a couple more. So the squirrels must plant the, hide the seeds, the walnuts, very close at times. So, and there's some way over that are quite a bit taller. And here in the ditch is a really tall walnut. It's probably as tall as the other ones I showed previously, but they're growing along there. And then across there on that is a lot of poison ivy, and there's a lot of jewelweed, and jewelweed grows where the poison ivy grows. And that's about it. That's why I'm showing you the trees today, because it's a kind of rainy day here, and the bees' activity is kind of going to be less than usual. But all the trees are really interesting, and I feel blessed to have so many. And if I come out here in the woods on a hot day, it's usually about 10 degrees cooler, because it provides a really nice canopy. And way over there, there's more conifers, and there are quite a few varieties. I think maybe years ago the previous owners had gotten free trees from the Audubon Society, and maybe that's where a lot of them came from. Now, across the road there was a maple tree that was planted in the 1960s when Lady Bird Johnson did her campaign for everybody to be planting trees. And the people that lived there, that's how they got their trees, was the giveaway that she did for those. And this little tree, by the bark and the leaves, it looks like it might be a type of cherry tree. I'm not sure, but I just thought I'd let it grow. And these might be flax. I'm not quite sure, but they're pretty. So the peonies are all done here. And pretty much mostly now on the milkweed blossoms are pretty much done. There's a couple more hawthorn. This one and this one doing pretty good. And then there's another walnut tree. And the maple, this maple likes to have its branches come way out. All right, I gotta end this. The rain is getting a little stronger, so this will be the end of this one. Have a great day.